I have been watching anime for a few years now, and I've come to notice that I binge watch a lot. So, is this normal? Yes, it is. However, let's first define this behavior that we do on the weekend. Binge watching is when you watch a series for a long time span, usually of a single series. Netflix, the provider of binge watching, defines this marathon watching when a person watches between 2 to 6 episodes of the same show in one sitting. So don't make any plans this weekend, because here are the 10 animes you should binge watch over the weekend. High School of the Dead. Like many zombie movies or series that are splashed on the small screen, a group of people is trying to survive a zombie apocalypse. High School of the Dead follows a group of students and the school nurse who is trying to figure out who's responsible for the zombie outbreak. All this while fleeing a horde of zombies. Another. The story started in 1972 after the death of Yomiyama North Middle School's classroom 3-3 student Misaki. Since his death, the town has been shrouded by a fearful atmosphere from the dark secrets hidden deep within. Decades later, there's a new group of students and they all seem to be unaware of the presence of their eye patch-wearing schoolmate Mei Misaki. However, when Koichi Sakakibara arrives, he begins to get closer, ignoring the other students' warnings. At the same time, he also tries to solve the gruesome phenomenon plaguing classroom. Batum. Imagine being stranded on a tropical island with no recollection of how or why you got there. This is what happens to Ryota Sakamoto, a 22-year-old NEET who lives with his mother and spends his days doing nothing but play video games. On the island, it doesn't take him long to figure out what's going on. It's the same as his favorite video game, Platoon. Bakano. During the early 1930s in Chicago, the transcontinental train, Flying Pussyfoot, is trying its legendary journey. At the same time in New York, the ruthless scientist, Zillard, and his reluctant assistant, Ennis, are looking for missing bottles of the immortality elixir. On top of that, a war between the mafia groups is getting worse. The story also flashes back to 1711 when on board the Advena Avis, alchemists are about to learn the price of immortality. Although the stories are unrelated to each other, they intersect and cross each other as the events spiral more and more out of control. Knights of Sidonia. One of Netflix's original series, this anime is no different than other series within the space opera subgenre. What remains of the human race live on a gigantic floating seed ship named Sidonia. After 100 years of peace and tranquility, the Gona threat returns. This time, it is up to Nagate Tanikaze and his friends to fight these giant creatures, and at the same time, learn what they really are. Claymore. Humans are not the only creatures that roam around the world. There are also the Yoma, creatures that feed on human flesh and blood. Apart from being flesh-eating monsters, they have the ability to blend in with humans by taking their appearance. To destroy these creatures, the organization created half-human, half-Yoma warriors known as Claymores. The series follows Rocky, a young boy who lost his family during a Yoma attack, and the Claymore, Claire, who saved him from this cruel fate. Neon Genesis Evangelion. Commonly referred to as Evangelion or EVA, it is one of the most critically acclaimed anime in its genre, mostly due to its religious theme and imagery. The series is set in futuristic Tokyo, 15 years after a global catastrophe. The story follows Shinji, a teenage boy who is recruited by NERV, the organization responsible for creating the EVAs, to pilot a giant biomachine mecha called an Evangelion. The purpose of Evangelion is to fight the monstrous beings known as angels. The series focuses on the experience and emotions of Evangelion pilots and members of NERV as they attempt to prevent another catastrophe. Psychopaths. In the 22nd century, the public places its trust on the Sybil system, a method which goal is to determine the threat level of each citizen by examining their mental state for signs of criminal intent, known as their psychopaths. To do this, the Sybil system employs inspectors, those that uphold the law, and enforcers, inspectors that have become latent criminals. The story centers on Inspector Akane Tsunemori and her enforcer, Shinya Kugami. Through various incidents, they soon come to learn that the Sybil system's judgments are not as perfect as everybody thinks. High School DxD. The story centers around Issei Yodo, a dim-witted, peeping Tom high school student who dreams of having his own harem. On his first date with a girl, he gets killed by a fallen angel. Nevertheless, Ria's Grimoire gives him a second chance at life as a reincarnated devil, and from that day forward, he serves as a servant and member of the school's occult research club. Darker Than Black. 10 years ago, two impenetrable fields appeared, one in South America, Heaven's Gate, and the other one in Japan, Hell's Gate. Many do not know what is the purpose of the gates. However, when getting close to one of them, the very laws of physics are ignored. With the appearance of these gates emerge contractors who exchange their humanity for supernatural abilities. The story follows Hei, a contractor for the syndicate, and his assistant Yin, who work for one of the many agencies competing to unlock the mysteries of Hell's Gate. Is one of your favorite animes on our list? Comment down below. And also don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Also check out our channel for more videos like this. See you on the next video!